Alright, are you guys ready? I'm ready. Today is the day. The first step in our journey and the season. Season 4 of the GBA. The first game in Pittsburgh Pirattatas history. Being played at home in Pittsburgh. What a better way to open. What a better way to cement ourselves as the new dominant force in the GBA. I know some of you guys are nervous. The practice squad has been in shambles. And I can't lie, the injuries are a little bit scary right now. With Mammo Swine sidelined, with both practice issues as well as the strained quads, that's really going to put a damper on us. Let's hope they over-prepare for them, and we can ice over that just a little bit. But he's going to be rooting on you guys from the sidelines, and we got to remember, it's time to prove what fearless means. We are the fear. We're not the ones who are the fearful. It's time to rise up, grab our destiny, and show them we're at home. This is Pittsburgh. Now let's get out there and show them what we do in Pittsburgh. We roll up our sleeves. We wipe the sweat off our foreheads. We build it from the ground up. And we let it stand the test of time. This is the Steel City. This is the city that everyone fears when they come to. They're coming to our house. This is Pittsburgh, guys. Let's show them what it means to be fearless. Let's go, Bucktooth Bucko Nation. It's time to roll.
What is hatching, Toga Beeps? Old Man Top coming at you today with Season 4, Game 1 against Kooper and the Utah Jasmine. Your Pittsburgh Pirattatas are going to represent and show these guys what the newbies got going. So here we go. We each going to start out with a pivot lead. I have Crobat going to U-turn out because I can't stay in and take a Volt Switch or a Thunderbolt. Both of which extremely likely, considering I don't have much on this team to resist an electric attack. As a matter of fact, I have nothing. So, gonna go out into my Heatran. If you get the nickname for Heatran, you are great. So he's gonna Volt Switch out here. Heatran's gonna suck that up and enjoy it. Nice little tickle on the belly there. And gonna recover most of it with the leftovers being my special wall. And he's going to switch out into his Vaporeon. And I don't want to take a Water-type move, so I'm going to go out into a Azumarill. He's going to go for Scald. I'm just like, okay, no problem. No burn, no burn, no burn. Awesome. Oh, he gets the burn. So that's unfortunate. Because I really needed my physical attackers. And that is one burned. So that's no good. So... gonna go for the knockoff here, knocking off the leftovers because any recovery I can take away from him is gonna be phenomenal because the majority of his Pokemon have 50% recovery moves. So any little bit of extra non-recovery I can cause is good. So I'm gonna switch out here, not sure if he was gonna protect, not that he needed to because he would have gotten all the health back from the Wish. He doesn't, goes for the Scald. I go out into Porygon Z, scaring it out with the T-Bolt. And he's going to bring out Blissey, who's going to suck up that T-Bolt like it's nothing. And he's going to recover almost all of that with his leftovers. So I'm going to have to switch out here because I am Choice Scarfed. And I'm going to go back into a Azumarill, predicting a status move, Toxic, Will-O-Wisp, Thunderbolt, or I'm sorry, T-Wave, and that is what he does. So... there's a good prediction on our part. I'm not sure what he's going to do. Stay in, maybe Seismic Toss, Soft Boiled, just to test to see what I'm doing. And it turns out that Blissey is his Stealth Rocker. And he's going to get rocks up here. And I'm going to go for the Play Rough. I was expecting him to go back into Vaporeon, actually, which is why I didn't knock off that turn. Because knocking off the leftovers right there would have been nice. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's going to stay and go for a Seismic Toss because I really don't have much to do to him with this. But he is going to switch back onto Vaporeon. I do go for the knockoff, thinking I'll be able to get rid of the leftovers there, but he goes back into Vaporeon, which is an excellent move on his part. And he's just going to set up the Wish again. And I don't want to switch into anything to take another Scald at this point. So I'm just going to let Azumarill go down, which in hindsight was bad. Goes for the Toxic there. Probably predicting me to switch into something, not exactly sure what. But he is going to just keep recovering every bit of damage I do. So we have pretty much accomplished absolutely nothing but lose a Pokemon at this point. So that's fantastic. Yeah, so he made a good play there, setting up the Wish and not attacking, because he can effectively switch into anything this turn and recover all the damage I'm going to be able to do with an attack. So I go into Porygon Z, and I'm gonna hard switch out, thinking he's going to go into Blissey to take the T-Wave, or I'm sorry, Thunderbolt, and he's going to. So I make a really solid play there, get out into my Crobat, and I'm thinking, okay, I have to taunt this thing. Even if he switches out, it's going to stop anything from recovering. And I nail him with the taunt. He's going to hard switch out here, and I wasn't sure if he was going to try and Seismic Toss, Soft Boiled to see what I was going to do. And I go for the Brave Bird. Having U-turned out right away there would have been a little bit more beneficial, but I didn't want to not take the opportunity to deal massive amount of damage to Blissey in the event he left him in. So I'm going to U-turn out here and go into Heatran. We're back to turn 1, more or less, with Zapdos and Crobat, and we're pretty much going to repeat turn 1. Bring Zool back out, and he is just going to Volt Switch himself, keeping the momentum on his side and just frustrating the crap out of me because I can't get a foothold. Every time I make a good prediction, I just can't capitalize on it. So he's going to bring Splash Wheel and his Vaporeon back out here, so I go to set up the Stealth Rocks because I know I need the residual damage. And I'm thinking he might just set up a Wish, which he does. So I get free Stealth Rocks up. And I'm thinking, is he going to overpredict and try and Toxic? Or is he just going to go straight away for the Scald? I go for the Taunt, thinking I could probably take maybe one Scald at this level, being completely invested in Special Defense. And no, I can't. Turns out it was a crit. I don't know for sure whether or not it mattered. I don't know the exact set he was running, and Lord knows I might not be able to take one at all. But at the point I wanted to slow down his recovery ability. So I'm going to go back out into Zed, and he's going to switch out. I didn't want to hard switch out again because I figured he would predict that after I did that the last time, and I stay in and go for the T-Bolt. And that is really not going to do much, especially after Leftovers recovery. So at this point, I think he's just going to attempt to status me. So I go into the slowest thing on my team, which is Hitmontop. Gonna get off the Worthless Intimidate because I highly doubt this thing is packing physical moves. Gonna get off the T-Wave. Like I said, this is the slowest thing on my team anyways. In hindsight, this might not have been the best move to go to, but I didn't want him paralyzing anything else on my team, because like I said, everything else on my team is the speed I need to outspeed the rest of his Pokemon. So, paralyzed. He's gonna hard switch out here, and I predict him to go into Zapdos. I go for the Stone Edge, and I'm thinking, one time, let me crit and take this thing out. Please, one time. Go for the Stone Edge. It hits. Will it be enough to take it out? Oh, no. Doesn't even do half damage, mainly because I'm completely defense invested. He's going to go for the Roost here. I predict him to Roost. I go for the Toxic, thinking the extra little bit of residual damage will help me take this thing down, and I get paralyzed. Dang it. I'm trying to get back into this, and it's just not going our way at all. Gonna go for the T-Bolt. I know I can take one of those, if not two. Gonna go for the Stone Edge, and all I'm thinking is one time crit for me. One time. But I'm not gonna get it there. And I'm thinking, I just gotta keep putting on the pressure and trying to damage him. I can't go for close combat, because if I do, it's gonna lower me to the point my defense is that I think another T-Bolt will take me out. So I'm going for Stone Edge, just hoping to get as much damage as possible. And that does ridiculously low damage when he's roosting. So I'm just like, oh, good lord. Why couldn't you crit from me once? So he's going to go for the T-Bolt this turn. I have to keep clicking that Stone Edge because it's the only thing I have for this. I can't switch out because nothing's going to take a Thunderbolt. And I get para-haxed. The T-Bolt is just too powerful. I'm not going to survive another one. So because of that paralysis, I'm not going to have hardly any damage on this thing when it goes down. And my failure to crit is just salt in the wound when he takes me out with a crit. Not that it mattered at all, because it would have clearly taken me out. It's just a little slap in the face saying, I wouldn't give you the crit for those 2 or 3 Stone Edges you hit, but I'm going to give it to him on the T-Bolt. But whatever. It is what it is, right? Yeah. So I'm going to go out into Sandwiches. My Mega Alakazam. And I'm just going to hit this thing as hard as I possibly can. The Trace Pressure goes on here. Psychic, I know, is going to do a ton of damage to this thing. He's going to go for the Volt Switch, wanting to get a safe turn off here. I know I can take at least one of those because, surprisingly enough, Mega Alakazam's special defense isn't that bad. And he's going to bring out Lucario here. I should have stayed in and tried. In hindsight, I really should have stayed in and tried to hit him with a Psychic. I know he's going to go for the Extreme Speed. And I thought maybe if I was lucky I could tank one of these, and I do, but unfortunately, because, you know, I didn't spin away the Stealth Rocks when I had the opportunity with Hitmontop when he was roosting, I'm going to just get cleaned up by this Lucario, and it is just, oh, it sucks so bad. Late game sweep by the Lucario, who's going to get a total of 3 kills in this match, finishing off my Crobat, my Porygon Z, and going to be my Mega Alakazam. So, this hurts so bad. 6-0'd in the very first match of the league is not the way I wanted to start. And the sad thing is, the majority of his team didn't even have damage on it. I mean, he only, brought 4 total of his Pokemon? We didn't see Whimsicott, we didn't see his Mega Charizard, and he just thoroughly beat the crap out of me. So, where do we go from here? Well, on the bright side, I don't think we can do any worse next week. So I have that to look forward to. The major mistakes I made here was in my team building. I surprisingly enough, put way too much thought in it and overthought, and I literally outthanked myself preparing for this match. So, yeah, fun and things. If you survived that slaughter and are still listening, I will be doing a post-game press conference. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Like, oh my god, Tup, why didn't you bring Mamoswine? It matches up so good against his team. Whether or not that's asked, I will be answering it in the press conference with made-up bullcrap, because there was no good reason for me not to bring Mamoswine besides the fact that I over-predicted and thought he would tailor his team, because it was the largest threat to his team, to beat it. And turns out he didn't. So, yeah, fun in things. Alright guys, this is Old Man Tup signing off, starting off the season 0-1. Alright guys, catch you on the flip side. Peace out.